Hi everyone, I'm Bubbles from Susan's family. Today I'd like to introduce you a cute animal pillow, the Panda Bamboo Charm. For this electronic tutorial, you can search susud.com on the website to check it out. This pillow includes the body, facial features, tail, accessories, and limbs. Let's start with the body first. We will start from foundation chain. Work in rounds along the starting chain. The stitches we will use include CH means chain stitch, X means single crochet, W means SC 3 in 1, V means SC 2 in 1, A means SC 2 tog. Please watch my demonstration below. This product mainly uses chart instructions in table form. Next, I will first teach you how to recognize the table. In the table, R plus number represents round numbers. H plus number represents row numbers. The column for stitch instructions shows the stitch techniques needed when crocheting the current round, as well as the increase or decrease situation. The total stitches column indicates total number of stitches after completing all the stitches in this round. Let's start with casting on. Take out the corresponding yarn. The starting chain in the table is 4ch. It means to use a chain stitch for casting on. Cast on 4 chain stitches. Pick up the yarn tail with your right hand. Wrap it around your left little finger once. Then thread it through between your middle finger and index finger. Pinch the yarn tail with your left thumb and middle finger. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Move the hook between these 2 points. Place the hook underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Pinch the crossing point of the loop with your left thumb and middle finger. Then position the hook to the left side of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Draw the yarn through the loop. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Tighten it slightly. Here's a note. Because the yarn is special, your hands might get tired while crocheting. If your hand gets tired, you can change the way you hold the hook to relieve it. Here I'll teach you 2 ways to hold the hook. The first one is like holding a pen. The second one is like this. Place your hand above the crochet hook and grip the hook. Switch between these 2 positions while crocheting. Start crocheting chain stitches. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. 1 chain stitch is done. This braid represents 1 stitch. Because the yarn is special here, let's make a mark on the first stitch here. Insert into the left side of the braid strand. Place a stitch marker. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a paper clip or safety pin as a substitute. Continue crocheting chain stitches. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. This is the second stitch. We need to crochet a total of 4 stitches. Keep it going. The third stitch. Let's place another stitch marker on the third stitch for marking. The fourth stitch. That's how you complete the starting chain. Next, we'll crochet the first round. Dow 2 means to start crocheting from the second chain from the hook. The position of the stitch marker here is the second to last stitch. The number before X indicates how many single crochets you need to make. Here it means to crochet 2 single crochets. Start with the first single crochet. Pick up the half loop above the second chain from the hook. That is, the stitch with the stitch marker. Insert your hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Now there are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, and draw through in once all the loops on your hook. One single crochet is completed. We can see a V-shaped stitch on the right side. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Use a stitch marker to mark it here. Pick up 2 threads and mark them. Move on to the second single crochet. Insert the hook into the adjacent chain stitch. Again, pick up the thread from above. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over again. Draw through both loops on your hook. The second single crochet is done. Next is 1 SC3 in 1 stitch. That means crocheting 3 single crochets in the same place. Insert the hook into the first stitch marked by the stitch marker. One, 2. Three. Like this. You've completed 1 SC3 in 1. Let's take a look. There are still 2 threads on the other side of the chain. Crochet by picking up these 2 threads going forward. Rotate the piece clockwise by half a turn. Insert the hook into the 2 remaining strands of the second chain. This is the insertion point for this single crochet. Be careful not to insert it here. This is the insertion point for the SC3 in 1. If you can't find it precisely, inserting it near the right area will work. Start with 1 single crochet. Pay attention. Pull the starting yarn tail from above the hook to tighten. Then insert the hook into the 2 remaining strands of the next chain stitch. This is the position marked by the stitch marker. Crochet 1 SC2 in 1. That means crocheting 2 single crochets in the same stitch. One, 2. A SC2 in 1 is completed. The corresponding stitch pattern for this round is now done. Place a stitch marker on the last stitch to mark it. Again, pick up 2 strands to mark. Then finish with a slip stitch in the first stitch. That means crocheting at the stitch marker position. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Pull through all loops on the hook. Slip stitch completed. This is the chain formed by the slip stitch. The slip stitch doesn't count as 1 stitch. You need to pull tight. The slip stitch is not indicated in the form. In practice, when crocheting in rounds, unless otherwise specified, you should join each round with a slip stitch. This way, the first round is complete. You can now remove the stitch marker from the chain. The starting tail is on the inside. This side is the wrong side of the fabric. Turn the fabric over, with the right side facing out. Trim the excess tail from the starting chain. As you continue crocheting, always keep the right side facing out. For convenience in distinguishing, place a stitch marker on the right side as a marker. Now let's crochet the second round. Work one chain as the turning chain for the single crochet. The turning chain for the single crochet does not count as a stitch, therefore, it is not indicated in the form. When crocheting, you need to work a turning chain at the beginning of each round, and the turning chain for the single crochet doesn't count as one stitch. Then, in the first stitch of the previous round, which is also the insertion point of the slip stitch, work one single crochet. The first stitch of the second round is completed. Place a stitch marker as a marker. Then work one single crochet in the adjacent stitch. Next, work 3 SC2 in 1. Start with the first one. Work 2 single crochets into the left stitch. The first SC2 in 1 is completed. Then, work 1 SC2 in 1 in each of the next 2 adjacent stitches. Be sure to pay attention. Insert and crochet both loops of the stitch. After completing, work one single crochet in each of the next 2 left stitches. Then, work 1 SC2 in 1 in the last stitch. Finally, place a stitch marker on the last stitch as a marker. Then join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Insert your hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Pull through all loops on the hook in one go. Slip stitch is complete. Slightly tighten. This way, the second round is finished. For the remaining rounds, please refer to the chart to crochet. In the fourth round, you will encounter parenthesis. This parenthesis means that the stitches inside the parenthesis are a group. The times number outside the parenthesis indicates repeating the group of stitches that many times. Any identical parentheses you see later convey the same meaning. The sixth round is worked even. This means crocheting one stitch to another. The stitch count remains identical to the previous round. As you work further, in the eighth round, you need to change colors. There are two situations when changing colors. The first one is when you need to switch colors for the next single crochet stitch. The second one is when you need to switch colors during a SC2 tog. Let's demonstrate the first situation now. Here's how to change colors. Since the next stitch requires a color change, we will start by making an incomplete single crochet. Insert the hook. Yarn over and pull through. The incomplete single crochet is done. Place the yarn at the front. Take the new yarn. Yarn over. Draw through the 2 loops on hook. Complete this single crochet. Then place the original yarn behind. Continue with single crochets. While working, wrap the yarn tails for joining. That's it for the first color change scenario. Now let me demonstrate the second situation. Change colors after a SC2 tog. Insert the hook into the front loops of the next 2 stitches on the left side. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. There will be 2 loops remaining on your hook. Take the new color. Draw the yarn through. The color change is complete. Continue crocheting with the new color. Wrap the yarn tail as you crochet. When working on the body and encountering a SC2 tog that requires a color change, follow this method to complete the stitches. Continue by referring to the chart to finish the remaining part of the body. Remember to make 1 chain as your beginning chain at the start of each round. At the end, join with a slip stitch and tighten. Change colors according to the positions indicated on the chart. When you reach the last round, leave a 15 cm tail for the white yarn before cutting it off. Cut the other yarn directly. Finally, use the reserved yarn tail to close the opening. I'll demonstrate the method below. Below, I will demonstrate how to close the opening. Insert through every stitch. Pull tight. After completion, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. That concludes the body section. Below, I will use this sample to teach you how to count rounds. On the right side of the fabric, there are these circular textures. The number of these texture rounds corresponds to the number of rounds you've worked. 1, 2, 3. You can see there are now 3 rounds of texture. This means 3 rounds have been worked. That's the method for counting rounds. Next, let's learn about facial features. It consists of the black eye circles, eyes, eyebrows, nose, the mouth and blush. Let's start by learning how to crochet the black eye circles. We will start from foundation chain. Work in rounds along the starting chain. The new stitches used include F means double crochet, FV means DC2 in 1, T means half double crochet, E means treble crochet, EA means TR2 tog, TV means HDC2 in 1, Ta means HDC2 tog. Now, let's show. Refer to the chart. Start with the corresponding chain stitches first. I've already started it here. Then work the first round. Start from the 5th chain stitch from the hook. First, make a double crochet. Then work a DC2 in 1. That is, make 2 double crochets in the same position. Then work 2 double crochets in sequence. Next, make a DC2 in 1 again. Followed by another double crochet. Then work 6 half double crochets. After completing, refer to the chart and crochet until before the stitch pattern in the square brackets. Now we've reached the corresponding position. The square brackets mean to crochet in the same position. That is, make 7 double crochets on this remaining chain stitch. After completing, you'll reach the other side of the chain. Pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chain and continue crocheting. Start with the stitches in the parentheses. First, work 1 treble crochet. Then do a TR2 tog. That completes the stitch pattern in the parentheses once. Now repeat it again. After finishing, work 2 double crochets. Then 3 half double crochets. And 4 single crochets. Followed by a SC2 tog. Next, refer to the chart and continue. Work this round completely. After finishing the last 5 double crochets, end with a slip stitch. That completes the first round. Now let's work on the second round. Start with 3 chains as your turning chain. Then work 1 double crochet in the same position as the slip stitch from the previous round. Next, work 4 DC2 in 1. After that, complete the stitches in the parentheses. First, work 1 half double crochet. Then work 1 HDC2 in 1. Do it again. Continue following the chart all the way down until just before the HDC2 tog. When you reach the corresponding position, I'll demonstrate the technique for HDC2 tog. The HDC2 tog is now complete. Then continue crocheting while referring to the chart. Work this round completely. After finishing the last 6 HDC2 in 1, end with a slip stitch. Then leave a tail of about 35 centimeters and cut the yarn. That's it for the second round. The black eye circle is now complete. Next, sew the black eye circle onto the right side of the body, which is the side with the color change. Place the wrong side of the black eye circle facing up. Align the middle position with the 8th round, where the body has the color change. Let both sides rest flat naturally. You can secure them in place with stitch markers before sewing if you'd like. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle. Sew along the last round of stitches to attach it. You don't have to sew one stitch to another exactly, just make sure it lays flat after sewing. After finishing, tie a knot and weave in the ends. That's it for sewing the black eye circle. Next, let's attach the nose. Before attaching the nose, trim this part first. Be careful while cutting. After trimming, stick it just below the middle of the black eye circle. That completes the nose. Now let's make the eyes. Let's look at the finished product. The eyes are embroidered on both sides of the nose. Now, let's show. Take the corresponding yarn and thread the sewing needle. First, hide the thread inside the body. Then, come out about 2 centimeters away from the nose. Next, insert it again about 2 centimeters apart. Then, curve this line segment slightly. Apply a small amount of glue to secure it in place. You can use a sewing needle to help. After completing, carry the yarn across inside the body. Then embroider symmetrically on the other side. You can also apply a small amount of glue to attach it. After finishing, hide the thread well inside the body. You can hide a few more stitches if you like. That's how you embroider the eyes. Next, let's embroider the eyebrows. Let's look at the finished product. The eyebrows are embroidered on the 7th round of the body. Now, let's show. Take the corresponding yarn and thread it into the sewing needle. First, weave in the yarn inside the body. You can weave in a few more stitches if you like. Then, stitch out at the color change in the 8th round. Next, insert the sewing needle angled through 3 rounds in the 7th round. That's how you embroider one eyebrow. For the other side, follow the same method to embroider symmetrically. Up to this point, we've covered the eyebrows. Next, let's crochet the mouth. We will start from foundation chain. Work along the starting chain. The stitch techniques used include CH1 picket. Now, let's show. Start with a foundation chain. Then work 2 single crochets from the second to last stitch. Make 1 slip stitch. Next, crochet a CH1 picket. Then make another slip stitch on this chain. Before making the slip stitch, you can move the beginning knot to the front. Finally, work 1 single crochet in sequence. 1 SC2 in 1. Finish with a slip stitch. Leave about a 15 cm tail and cut. Leave a little of the starting yarn tail, and cut it off. Press it underneath when gluing. That's how you finish the mouth. Then glue the mouth onto the middle of the black eye circle. Attach it to rounds 12-13 of the body. When gluing, make sure the wrong side is facing outwards. Ensure the ending position is facing upwards, slightly angled. Below, I'll demonstrate the method with a sample swatch. Apply a little glue on the right side of the mouth. After gluing, thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle. Then come out 2 stitches away on the left side of the mouth. Then go around the mouth in a circle. Next, apply glue to secure it in place. You can use the sewing needle to help. Trim off the excess tail. Secure well with glue. That concludes the mouth. Next, we will crochet the blush. We will start from foundation chain. Work in rounds along the starting chain. After completing, leave a tail of about 20 centimeters and sew it onto both sides of the black eye circles. Overlap slightly with the black eye circles, with the wrong side facing up, sew along the last round. The method is similar to that of the black eye circles. Moving forward, you can finish it on your own. And that concludes the blush. Next, we will crochet the ears. There are 2 identical ears. Both consist of an inner ear and an outer ear. We will start from foundation chain for both, and work back and forth along the starting chain. Now, let's show. First, we will crochet the outer ear. This requires crocheting with 2 single strands of yarn. Take the corresponding yarn. We can take 1 thread from the outside of the skein, and 1 from the inside of the skein. Combine the 2 yarn tails and start crocheting. Begin with the adjustable magic ring first. Then crochet 5 single crochets into the ring. Tighten the fabric piece. That completes the first row. Take this row's right side as the entire piece's right side. You can place a stitch marker for marking. I will skip marking here. Now let's move on to the second row. Start with a chain stitch. Turn indicates the meaning of turning over. Turn over the fabric piece. Crochet 1 SC2 in 1 next. 1 single crochet. Then crochet 1 single crochet into the left stitch. 2 chain stitches and 1 single crochet. Finally, crochet 1 single crochet and 1 SC2 in 1 into the last 2 stitches in sequence. That completes the second row. Now let's move on to the third row. Chain 1 as beginning chain. Turn the work. Crochet 3 single crochets first. Then skip 1 stitch and leave it unworked. Crochet 1 single crochet into this chain space next. 2 chains and 1 single crochet. Skip 1 stitch again. Crochet 3 single crochets in sequence. That completes the third row. Leave a little yarn tail and cut off. Neaten up the yarn tails on your own. One outer ear is now crocheted. Crochet another outer ear using the same method. The crocheting method for the inner ear is identical to the first 2 rows of the outer ear. Everyone, refer to the form. Crochet it with the corresponding yarn. After completing, leave a little yarn tail and cut off. Tidy up the ends. That concludes the inner ear. Once completed, crochet together the inner and outer ears with their wrong sides facing each other. Take the corresponding yarn. Place the outer ear side facing you. Insert the hook through both the inner and outer ear stitches. Make a beginning chain. Start with a SC2 in 1. Weave in the yarn tail. Then pick up the stitches from both the inner and outer ears. Crochet 3 single crochets in sequence. After completing, pick up the chain spaces of the inner and outer ears. Crochet 1 single crochet, 2 chains and 1 single crochet. Continue down to complete the remaining stitches. After finishing, leave a tail of about 20 centimeters and cut the yarn. That's how you finish the edging. That concludes one ear. Next, follow the same method to crochet the other ear. Now let's sew on the ears. Here's the finished product. Sew the ears onto the sides of the body. It covers rounds 3 to 6. The right side of the edging faces back, which means the wrong side is facing forward. You can use a stitch marker to secure it before sewing. The sides of the base of the ear are slightly indented. Now, let's sew. Thread the yarn tail through the sewing needle. After finishing, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. That way, one ear is completed. You can sew the other ear in the same way, on the symmetrical position. Next, let's learn how to crochet the tail. We will start from foundation chain and work in rounds along the starting chain. You need to change colors while crocheting. Now, let's sew. First, refer to the chart to crochet the first 2 rounds. I've already crocheted them ahead of time. Now let's move on to round 3, since the next round requires a color change. Here, we will handle the yarn tails. Pull up the loop to enlarge it. Pass the fabric or skin through the loop. Tighten it. Don't cut the yarn tail. Take out the corresponding yarn. This round needs to be crocheted with 2 single strands of yarn. Hook the yarn through the first stitch of the previous round. Make a chain 1 to begin. Then refer to the chart to crochet. After completion, finish with a slip stitch. That's how you complete the 3rd round. Everyone, refer to the chart and crochet the 4th round as well. After finishing the 4th round, continue with the 5th round. Directly hook the yarn tail through the first stitch. Make a chain 1 to begin. Then follow the chart to crochet. Moving forward, everyone refer to the chart and complete the remaining rounds. After completing the 6th round, simply cut the yarn and weave in the ends. Then use the corresponding yarn tail to crochet the remaining 2 rounds. After crocheting, leave a 20 cm yarn tail before cutting the yarn. Once the tail is completed, sew it onto the ending position of the body, close to the back. Sew it in the centered position. After sewing, weave in the yarn tails. That concludes the tail section. Next, we'll discuss accessories. These include leaves and bamboo. Let's start with the leaves. There are 2 sizes, large and small. Both start with the foundation chain method. Work in rounds along the starting chain. Now, let's show. Here, I'll demonstrate using the small leaf as an example. First, refer to the chart and crochet up to the position before the square brackets. I've already completed this part. Next, we'll crochet the stitches inside the square brackets. Start by crocheting 2 single crochets here. Then, make a CH1 picket. The CH1 picket is now complete. Continue following the chart to finish this round. Once done, conclude with a slip stitch. Leave about a 15 cm tail, and cut the yarn. You can trim off the excess yarn tail from the starting chain. That's it for the small leaf. Next, follow the chart to crochet the large leaf. After completing it, leave about a 15 cm tail, and fasten off the yarn. Once all the leaves are crocheted, sew them onto the middle position on top of the body, which is where you started the chain. When sewing, make sure the front side of the leaf faces forward. There's no specific requirement for the sewing method, just ensure it's secure. That concludes the instructions for the leaves. Next, let's crochet the bamboo. It consists of the main body and the leaves. Start with crocheting the main body first. Use the magic ring method to begin. Follow the magic ring, form a loop. Now, let's show. Start with the adjustable magic ring. Then crochet 8 single crochets into the large space of the magic ring. I've already completed this part. Now let's move on to the second round. In this round, work into the back loops only. Begin with a chain 1 as the starting chain. Insert the hook into the back loop, and work a single crochet. Continue picking up the back loops as you go. Complete the entire round. After finishing, conclude with a slip stitch. Flip the piece so the right side is facing out. Cut off excess yarn tail from the starting chain. That completes the second round. For the following rounds, crochet the remaining part of the main body according to the table. After completing, leave about a 30 cm yarn tail. Everyone, take a look. This is what it looks like after crocheting with bamboo. Next, use the reserved yarn tail. Proceed to close the opening. Thread the yarn tail through a sewing needle. Pass it through the front loop of each stitch in the last round. Then pull tight. That completes the closing method. The main part of the bamboo is now done. Next, we'll crochet the leaves. The leaves are crocheted by picking up the remaining half loops from the third round and the sixth round of the bamboo piece. Start with the foundation chain pointing downward. Then pick up the remaining half loops from 2 stitches in the third round and join yarn to crochet. Chain 2 as beginning chain. Then work a double crochet. Next, make a CH1 picket. Then chain 2 again. Work a slip stitch at the joining position. One leaf is now completed. Now move on to crochet another leaf on the left side. Start with a slip stitch. Then chain 2. Work a double crochet next. Next, work a CH1 picket. Finally, chain 2 and make a slip stitch. After completing, leave a bit of tail and fasten off the yarn. Trim the yarn tails that have been woven in. The reserved yarn tails. Thread the needle. Hide them inside the main part. Then join yarn in the remaining front loops of round 6 to crochet 2 leaves. Stagger their positions from the previously crocheted leaves. Everyone can follow the chart to complete it. That concludes the leaves. And that completes the bamboo. Next, sew the bamboo onto the body. Let's take a look at the finished product. The bamboo is sewn on the left side of the body. This refers to the doll's left and right sides. Now, let's show. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle. Place the starting point of the bamboo facing up. Position it slightly beside where the blush is. The ending position should align with the 14th round. Sew the bamboo at an angle. Continue sewing it downward. After finishing, weave in the yarn tail. That concludes the bamboo. Next, we will discuss the limbs. They consist of the hands and feet. There are 2 of each. We will start from foundation chain for the hands. Work in rounds along the starting chain. The feet use the magic ring method. Follow the magic ring, form a loop. Everyone should first refer to the form and crochet the hands. This is what my hands look like after crocheting. Then sew the hands onto the left side of the body. Sew the left hand next to the bamboo. You can sew together the last round of the hand. After sewing, secure the hand to the body a little more. Gently tighten it slightly. Sew in a way that makes the hand hug the bamboo. You can sew an extra stitch to secure it. After completing, tie off the yarn tail and weave in. That's how you finish sewing the left hand. For the right hand, follow the same method. Place it a little beside the blush on the right side. Sew it onto the 12th, 13th rounds of the body. From there, you can sew it yourself. That concludes the hands. Next, let's crochet the feet. The first 6 rounds for both feet are worked identically. The 7th round is where the left and right feet differ. I'll demonstrate with the left foot. First, follow the chart to crochet the first 6 rounds. After finishing, move on to the 7th round. Start with 1 chain stitch as the beginning chain. Press the last round flat. Hook through both corresponding stitches at the same time. Work a slip stitch. Then chain 2 stitches. Next, make a slip stitch in the second to last stitch. After completing, insert the hook through both stitches again and make a slip stitch. Consider what we've just crocheted as one toe. Now let's move on to the second toe. First, insert the hook through 2 corresponding stitches on the left side. Work a slip stitch. Then chain 3 stitches. From the second to last stitch, work 2 slip stitches. After finishing, insert the hook through both stitches again and make a slip stitch. That completes another toe. Continue following the chart to crochet the remaining 2 toes. After finishing, leave a 20 cm tail and cut the yarn. That completes the left foot. Next, follow the chart to crochet the right foot as well. The crocheting method for the 7th round is the same as for the left foot. However, the stitch count is different. You can complete it on your own. Once the feet are done, sew them onto the body. Attach the feet to round 16-18 of the body. When sewing, make sure the toes are facing up. Note that the toes do not need to be sewn together. Sew it on slightly angled. Complete it on your own. After finishing, sew the other foot in a symmetrical position. That concludes how to make the feet. And that also concludes all the limbs. Up to this point, we have covered everything for this pillow. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.